Hello, hello. I wanted to shoot a video to talk about some of the corrections I recently made to a client's program that they had gotten from someone else. And the point of the video isn't to talk about like what the other person who wrote the program did like wrong in a sense, but how we can change the program to better suit individual people's needs. So this program was written, you can see there's kind of like day 1, 2, 3, and it has like a 4 to 5 here on the second page. But the program was written for a guy who is, I'm not sure like if he's active duty or reserve military, but basically he was in the military, and he has a bad back. So he has a herniated like bulging disc like in his lower back, and he has some cervical issues like neck issues. But he wants to have as much strength and muscle as he can while controlling his body weight to make sure he can still run and do his active stuff for the testing in the military. So what I want to do here was show the program and some of the changes we made. So the program he came in with had like squats, kettlebell, dumbbell. I'm not really sure what type of squat that would have been. Like whether it was a goblet hold or a shoulder hold or like a low hold, I have no clue. But they were supposed to do like 4 sets of 20. Then he did calf raises, then reverse lunges, 3 by 8, and then more calf raises. That's not really a ton of volume for like thighs themselves. So the 2 standing calf raises don't even really count. Well, the 2 calf raises don't count towards leg volume. So we just have reverse lunges and like kettlebell dumbbell squats. And we have kind of a high range and a little bit of a medium range, but there's really nothing there to work on strength. So, and then also it's only like 7 total sets. That's not very good. So, and these aren't full body workouts. Like the next day would just be upper body, the next day is running. So we can add more leg volume there. So what we did is we used the hip circle, and we did like standing side raises and standing glute raises per leg 10-10. And what that does, that works on the hips and gets the person warmed up. Then they would do any calf work if they wanted at the very beginning. So kind of like right away they would do that where they do a stretch and a pump. So that way when they're running, their calves stay loose and they don't run into like as many ankle pains. Then we want to do something with legs heavy. And we talked about, like, we went over, for example, leg press is not a good idea for their second workout. The person wrote leg press. If they have a bulging disc in their lower back, that's going to put a shit ton of pressure on their lower back. So instead we do power squats. And we went over them today with the client. We did power squat with both legs together and lunges. And what a power squat is, I'll be showing you in another video here. It's basically like a squat machine where you get pressure over top your shoulders rather than on your spine. So that's going to be a lot better for decompressing the lower back. So, and then also we changed about the structure. We're going to do a warm-up, calf stretching and prepping if they want, if that's an issue for them. We're going to do some leg stuff heavy, and that would be anywhere in like the 6 to 10 range. And then we want to do a superset of like leg volume using a unilateral component. So which would be lunges, walking lunges, reverse lunges, static lunges, step-ups, or even really good single leg stiff leg deadlifts, things where it's unilateral to work on the hips. And then we have lower body conditioning, which for example could be like dragging the sled forward or backward. You could do also, we did like some med ball throws today with superset with hanging leg raises. So it's basically some changes we did to decrease lower back stress. Then, for example, they have barbell bench. That's not good for somebody with a lower back disc issue because they have to arch to get the bench set up properly, and that arch is going to create a lot of pressure on their back. So instead, we switch over to dumbbells, and we'll put them at a 15 or 30 degree incline, and that's a lot better. Also, they have standing barbell overhead press. That's not good for the lower back as well. So you can say, like, you want to involve some type of core stability, but this is not the best way of doing it. So you want to put the person somewhere where they don't have to arch through their lower back to do an overhead press. And then what I showed this client was doing rotation and anti-rotation movements instead, where the challenge becomes holding your position rather than involving a like arching of the back or flexion or anything like that, which can cause more inflammation in that low disc. Also, incline barbell press, it's another no-go. Typically the barbell compared to dumbbells is going to create more stress on the lower back simply because you're more restricted in the position that you can be in. So those are some of the changes we made right away. Is we changed the overall structure to actually involve more legs. to get more leg volume into their workout. Plus, also we used it to where this is going to work on kind of their smallest weakness of the lower body. We have strength involved. We have muscle growth, muscular endurance. Then we have cardiovascular and muscular endurance as well at the end. So this hits on all goals. So whereas this workout, just squats that are just 4x12 with 2-minute rest in between, then calf raises 4x20. Then 4x12 here with 2 minutes in between. There's just too much wasted time. You do a set, you wait 2 minutes. Do a set, wait 2 minutes. It's wasted time. So instead we're going to focus on supersets and layering things to where they're being more active within the time they have. We'll do the same thing for the upper body as well. Then on this day, for example, they have Hex Board Deadlifts, which is the bar you stand inside of, and that's meant to reduce stress on the lower back compared to like a barbell deadlift where it's in front of them. And that's true, that does help, so we can leave that in. However, you can see here, like their A and B is a Hex Bar Deadlift floor JHR, Hex Bar Deadlift floor JHR. It's too much of the same dang thing, so we're going to switch that up and give them some alternatives. And then also, again, they have the leg press. We've got to cut that out. So we're going to replace that with something that doesn't have that lower back compression. Like we have a belt squat at this gym, so we can go through and change that for a belt squat where it pulls through their hips rather than on their spine. And then, again, they have an upper body workout so that we can go through and kind of fix any lower back stress there. So the idea of making the corrections on this program was that, number one, there's a lot of things in here that was causing lower back stress. The leg press, the barbell bench, the overhead presses, stuff like that was causing stress on this person. So they were coming in trying to kill their workouts and do an awesome job, but their back was hurting all the time. It doesn't mean they have to work out less, they just have to work out smarter. So we're going to make these changes and reduce the lower back involvement into the movements to allow there to be less wear and tear on their back in their workouts. That'll improve their recovery between the workouts, and therefore they can still work out often and get all the results they want and not be in so much pain. So I thought this would be helpful for people to see what kind of little corrections you can make when you go through someone's already existing program. And you don't have to do less work. You don't have to be crippled and not do fun stuff. So I showed the client outside today for lower body conditioning. We were doing sled push pulls. We were doing a lot of cool, fun stuff. So you can still have fun in your training. You just got to learn how to be smart with your exercise choices. What we'll do next is we'll follow up with a sample workout, and I'll show you guys the corrected program. And this will be a sample military prep program. So if anybody wants to get ready for military testing, we'll show all the exercises and the programming that's available to do that. So, and then if somebody just wants to be super fit, they can do that program as well. Cool, so hopefully this was helpful.